and I heard her having a conversation. And I really don't remember the conversation. I just remember hearing his voice. And I bust through the door and snatched the phone from her. And I'm like, whoever this is, I know you're an adult. Do you know you're speaking with a 12-year-old child?
James, 17, was what many people would describe as a lively soul, making friends wherever he went. He was interested in many things, especially playing video games with his friends and spending time with his family. But the one thing he loved the most was track. He practiced every summer and was close to breaking a record when he received a message from a teenage girl on Instagram.
He'd be able to hit the ball at a very early age, and a lot of times he hit me with the ball, which was funny, but at the same time kind of hurt a little. It was times when he was trying to feed himself when he was small, having food flying everywhere because his coordination wasn't right there yet. Playing basketball was pretty funny because he loved basketball so much, but he couldn't dribble. So he'd get the rebound and he'd just stand there looking for somebody to pass the ball to. And we're like, James, just dribble it. He's like, I don't want to lose the ball. But I can think of a lot of things that just sticks out in my mind about him growing up.
On November 19th, 2022, James was found dead by his father. He had taken his own life with a gun. When going through his phone, his parents recovered just under 200 messages over 19 hours from Samson and Samuel Agoshi under the guise of a teenage girl.
He was sleep deprived. He was up almost 2 whole days straight. On top of that, his brain isn't fully developed because he's only 17 years old. So whatever he's going through, everything is going to probably feel like the end of the world. So sleep deprivation, his mind not fully developed. Then you got people that's mentally torturing you constantly, hour after hour, not giving him time to really rest and breathe.
They spoke to him, sharing the girl's supposed age and sending explicit photos. When he sent photos of himself back, the threats began. The predators demanded that James send him $300, and when he admitted to not having that money, they told him his life was a waste and that he should end it. He listened.
For instance, a perpetrator will say, send me pictures, and the kid sends them pictures, bad pictures, and then the perpetrator says, well, if you don't send me more, then I'm going to expose those pictures to your family and to your friends and to your school and to your church and to your, all of this. And to a child, that is just devastating. So we see a lot of, that's a common theme that we see in these investigations.
Social media is a platform where people can connect and interact. However, the source of connection can also be a source of danger, as we saw happen with James. By using social media, predators have a way of contacting minors that they wouldn't have access to in real life.
The people on the internet who prey, they develop a relationship with you online and they gain your trust. And they get you thinking that they have more to offer you than your friends, than your parents, than your teachers. And so this doesn't happen overnight. It's a process that happens over time. And kids don't realize they're getting sucked into this bad relationship. And so at some point, that person then makes a suggestion. And because the student, the child, the kid has become so connected to that person digitally, they'll do whatever that person says. It's a very sneaky way. It's not quite brainwashing, but it's very, very close to it.
Other comments that I pulled for that Instagram post was, I saw you at the mall today and you look so beautiful. And this is somebody talking about a 4-year-old. So it's showing that you don't know where these people are commenting from. You don't really know who your follower base is if you have a public account.
Many people have the idea that online exploitation cannot be as dangerous because of the separation between each person online. However, through social media, predators don't need to be in the same room as you anymore. In fact, they don't even need to be in your country. This can make it extremely hard to identify them and give them the consequences that they deserve. So many people get exploited, kidnapped, or even murdered due to online exploitation and never see justice for the people at cause, just as James did not.
The people that contacted James were mainly from the Ivory Coast. And of course, it's a small country in Western Africa. They have no extradition treaty with America. So when our people contacted them about the problem, they told America that they would not give up any of their natural born citizens to face criminal punishment. So the people are still free. They're able to continuously do whatever it is that they were already doing with no penalty. Uh, my family, we will never see justice for what happened to my child.
The Declaration of Independence promises us certain natural rights, these being life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Online exploitation takes these rights away from us, just for the crime of trusting someone online, someone you thought was like you. So for the people who feel that this isn't a problem that needs immediate attention, think about it. How online exploitation and predation is quite literally a violation of our fundamental rights that even people 300 years ago thought were important.
And one of the big issues brought up over and over again were the use of sentencing guidelines for abuses in this area that were written so long ago they didn't reflect the reality of the extortion which is going on today. And judges of the most conservative political stripe and the most liberal political stripe were reaching the same conclusion, that those guidelines just don't work anymore. They were counting offenses by the number of images. Well, that might have made sense when we were talking about 8 by 10 photographs. It makes no sense when we're talking about technology of today.